this is the first of 3 videos that are going to deal with the use of video in education, and especially the use of video at schools. Okay, now the first thing that I want to establish is the use of YouTube. If you go onto YouTube, or if you use a new YouTube page on the web browser, have a look and put in Excel. You should get about 39,000 videos. There are 39,000 videos that deal with how to use the Excel spreadsheet. My school at the moment is doing Mice and Men, so if you put in Mice and Men, you would most probably get about 2,000-3,000 videos for Mice and Men. In fact, I just looked at it and it's 12,300. Okay, the thing about YouTube is that there is a stack of educational content. 6% of YouTube's 3 billion plus videos, approximately 200 million videos, are of educational content. It's a great source of information. Right, second thing to go at is human memory. There are limitations on human memory, and statistically most people can hold about 7 numbers plus or minus 2, 7 numbers at once. The less able 5, the more able 9. Most people get by and get larger numbers in their memory by blocking or grouping the numbers together, so that if you remember a phone number, it would be 01773 834 and so on, you know, grouping the numbers together. But there are limitations, and each of the methods, looking at things, visual channel for input, and listening to things, the audio channel for input, they're both really quite restricted. Right, now if we consider the process of learning and move towards the area of our interest, if we take as a ground state the use of text, for the last 500 years or so, since the development of printing, the vast majority of learning has taken place via the medium of printed text. And for this discussion, let's look on printed text as being the ground state, 100. And anything that is better than that will be a number greater than 100. Now, the first thing to do with text, obviously, is to mix text and images. And if you look at the image in front of you, this is deliberately misleading. Because whilst you've got an image, the image is effectively decorative. That is, that it's not adding much to the function or the content of the text. And that is one of the significant things about the use of imagery with text, is that they need to be mixed together. And if you look at this document, one that we've used at my school across the last year, this has had a significant change from the way we did things up until last year. What you've got here is the mixture of images and text together. And the effect here, statistically, and all of these statistics are based on good quality research done in up to 10 different universities, and with groups of people that vary between 50 and 12 million. All of this stuff has shown an average effect of 89%. That is, if you mix text and images, you will get 89% more solutions to problems, 89% more retention, where people remember a larger proportion of what they've given, than if you give it in text alone. So if you imagine that we give somebody a sheet with some text on, and then we ask them to read it, and then we say, okay, give me a number of ways we could use this information, a number of solutions to this problem. Add images, you will get better results. Quite clearly, the next step on from that is, suppose that we remove the text from it and add narration. As soon as we've added narration, we've added an entirely new channel, in the sense that both text and imagery still use the eyes. Once inside the brain, of course, the text is moved into the language and effectively the audio area, but it all comes in through one channel. If we've got narration and imagery, then we're using two channels because things are going in through the ears and through the eyes at the same time. Now we're looking at a different effect again. The median effect is 2.7 times. That is, that a person will remember typically 2.7 times more information if they get it audio-visually, if they get it with both images and text. And it doesn't need to be moving video images, it can be moving static images and narration. Now, one of the things to say about this process is a process called metacognition, knowledge about knowledge. If you make a mistake in your narration, don't necessarily edit it out. Leave it in. Because if you make a mistake and you go back over and explain, I did that wrong, what I should have done is so and so, you're showing how an expert learner, and you are an expert learner, you're showing how an expert learner deals with that set of circumstances, the process of reasoning. And to that extent, the students pick up not merely the information, but the method of processing and arriving at a correct solution, which they can use in other circumstances apart from the one you're just simply describing at the moment. It's tempting to think, all this has been done before. It's been done because of TV. It's done in the sense of long videos that are run, 20 or 30 minute video used in a class. But if you notice, if you run a video in a class when the students come in, especially when they're buzzing after lunch or after a mid-morning break or something like that, and they're full of life, and they're coming, you sit them down and you run a video, a long video, watch them. What you'll notice is the blink rate starts to drop. The breathing starts to subside. They become sleepy. Because what happens is that they're used to the passivity of entertainment, and they drop into entertainment mode after a short time, about 2 or 3 minutes. After 2 or 3 minutes, students start to become entertained, and that doesn't really produce the sort of active learning that you want. So broadcast TV, long videos, not necessarily the best thing. Good video should last about 2 or 3 minutes. Now, if I look at my school, and my school is in no sense a prosperous school. We have a lot of unemployment. It's an ex-industrial area. They're somewhat below average. Nonetheless, 98% of our students have computers. 75% of them have got laptops. 60%, the important 60%, have smartphones. That's interesting. That number is increasing quickly. I imagine it will be approaching 100% within about 18 months of now. Typically, one of our students will be online for 30 hours a week. They're at school for 25 hours a week. The 3 most important places to go to on the internet: Google, Facebook, YouTube. Now, suppose that your videos are put on YouTube. You can get students to subscribe to a channel. You can make sure that nobody can leave comments about the videos, so you can stop people leaving silly comments on them. If students subscribe, and they can subscribe in class, then whenever new content is put on, they're automatically emailed with the new content. So it's a great way of keeping them up to speed with stuff, especially as you come towards the revision time of year, as we come up to exams. Once you've got the stuff on YouTube, they can look at it when it's convenient. We asked our students, if you were given a free choice between looking at videos, an identical video, on our VLE, which is Moodle, or on YouTube, which would you take? In 3 classes and approximately 100 students, only 2 said that they would prefer it on our VLE, and all the rest said that they would prefer it on YouTube. So YouTube would be an ideal method of getting at students. It would be an ideal method of hosting that information, and it really doesn't cost you anything, and it's very simple to do.